Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your financial market wrap-up on a wild trading day. It was fun today. And it is Tuesday, the 19th of October, 2021. And we're at 5:55 getting on there, p.m. Central Time. Bitcoin, I got to bring it up. Whoa, this is down. It finished up near $65,000. That was a pretty easy one to call. I told you today would be a burst in activity in it once you got that pro shares going, and they went. And I don't know how many millions. I stopped looking at 20 million shares. So that was a great debut for them. We'll see what goes on from there. I can't tell you to trade that ETF till we see how the action goes and develop the chart pattern and so on. People will trade it off the futures contract because it's got to be tied to it. It's got to be backed by this. There'll be a push, a big one on where they'll try to get in place of the futures contract, the physical. Problem is there is no physical. I laugh about it because it is funny. It's not like I'm going to go get $1 or something else. Where do you get a Bitcoin that are basically unregistered other than if the people want to let you have them? I don't know how that would ever work, but that's beyond my pay grade. Okay, in the stock market, it was a political day. President Biden did his very best to meet with both the progressives in one meeting, with the moderates in another of the Democratic Party, and try to get something done. He has put a deadline date of October 31st. Part of the reason is I guess some funding for highways is coming due then. But remember, he can modify that. It's a self-imposed deadline. What came out of the meeting today? I don't think anything positive. I was listening to all the different representatives come out, senators and House of Representative people. It does appear that the banking industry and smartness had its way, and the government is not, let me repeat this word, not going to require that transactions out of your bank account over $600, every one of them is reported to the IRS. Where did that lunacy come up with? I mean, it's craziness. First of all, I don't think it's the $600 people that you're looking with the problem. Aren't we supposed to be looking at the $100,000 people? I mean, the big items that we should be looking at. A guy that's doing something wrong with $600, what can you do about it? And what's that going to cost to monitor, collect, and store the data of? I was trying to put those numbers together. Then we look at the stock market. Now, think about this. Here we are, October 19th. Where were we September 19th? The market was falling apart. We were in that correction phase, which is so typical for September. October is typically a very volatile month, but the volatility's been all to the upside, not the downside. We're within this much of new all-time highs. Hard to believe, isn't it? And the market has adjusted itself to the note market, the 10-year note, in the 1.6s. Now, Friday, we're going to see Fed Chairman Powell speak again. Now, we're getting all the different Fed people talking. Tomorrow, we get the beige book. We'll see what comes out of that. So there's going to be plenty of volatility. You like that? You're going to have it. If we look at a weekly area chart of closes, you're not far away from that all-time high. You're up 1%. It's not a dramatic move. The highest close we had, I'll bring it here, I'll mark it on the chart for you another time too, was 45.34.5 on a closing basis. So where are we? We're 23 points away roughly. Not very much. Will the market be able to hold it? I don't know. But here's what it did do, and I've pointed this out repeatedly. This break, back to and just slightly under, came back and the market went up and made new highs here. The market came down, it's coming up. Will it make the new high? That's going to be the interesting part. When you take a look at this chart to the upside, it's certainly getting stretched on the way up. This leg is a very long leg. This was your shorter leg. That's a much bigger one. You've just come from 43.17 1/4, basically 200 points in this market. That's a lot of S&P points. With what? Pay attention. Each consecutive day higher than the prior one. Very difficult chart. What do I think? I put this up here so you can see the old high. and how the market, where the next resistance level comes in on it. I hope you don't mind that. I'll take it off soon, but I wanted to put that there for you. A lot of support now between the 18 and the 100-day average. Resistance, the old high. I think that's logical. You're at the upper Bollinger Band, so you're at resistance points, but you latched onto them. I don't know if this will be the gorilla glue trade when the market doesn't give them up. They just sit on it. My instincts are that it won't. That's my instincts, because you're just overbought and you just got there tonight. It's not as though you're about to embed. You got a lot of work to do. So could I see the reason for pullbacks? Yeah, but I don't see the trend changing. When I come to the NASDAQ, it's the same thing. You got up right to the Bollinger Band. If you've taken my enhanced Bollinger Band course, what do I teach when you get up to a Bollinger Band? If you're not embedded, how much of the position are you supposed to dump? All of it. On futures contracts. In the Dow Jones, no trend. Lower low, higher high, overbought, riding. This is that gorilla glue trade attempt. You don't get much away from that upper Bollinger Band. That's a sign of strength, my friends, not a sign of weakness. When you get markets like copper that were 4 days in a row over the upper Bollinger Band, they certainly are ripe for a correction, but not a change. It's rare that you just, from the 4 days, you go into a bear market. It's very rare. In the Russell, paying very nice attention. Isn't this a nice contract? It got up here and it's paying attention. It's not pushing at it or anything. It backs away. It comes up. Are we going to get a bullish crossover? And then you have a classic bullish setup. Get ready. You haven't got this on the other contracts. New. It's when the 18-day would get over the 100 and they both be over the 200. Suddenly, everything's in harmony. Whoa, light some candles. This market could be going even higher than that. So those are things I watch. The VIX. I called up our vendor because I thought the traders had gone short down there 2 days ago and then watched a bounce. Then I'm doing the chart here with you last night, and if you looked at it again, and it's up there on YouTube, I was confused. I'm going, that hasn't hit it. And I knew the other one on the day had. It was a caching issue in the software on my computer. And, you know, one of the maintenance is you just go in and clear cache, not what you do in your browser. In charting software, you can do that. So you should always be aware of this, because I immediately wrote to the developer, said, why do I have it? The data's all correct. I checked, but it looks a different pattern. That was it. So you haven't hit it. The first time you hit the Bollinger Band is where I think the pros will write a put, looking for the market to get back up first to this average and then to this combination. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. What does that mean if it does it, hits it? It means you're overbought in the other markets. If I'm looking for this to spin back to the upside, assuming that works, whoa, that's where you get your correction. Mid-month October, a nice little break. Oh, they'll talk volatility with that. You're back in the saddle. You're back in the bear trend in the 30-year bond. I should have this arrow not here. It should be both pointing down. Lower highs, lower lows, bear trend on until you take out yesterday's high of 159 and a quarter, 157.13, a potential target resistance, that 18-day average of closes. Are we going to embed here and get even more bearish? That's why got to be careful in these stock indices right here. You can't count tonight's action. So let's get to Tuesday. On Tuesday, both numbers under 20. Not the day before. You're just oversold. So you're not embedding. Always check that. Oversold, should find some support at that lower band. Dollar index turned down. We were just talking that if you were in the 1.6s or so, the dollar would probably get strong. And I know that. I heard the announcers talking about it, not me. Well, you peaked out here. To culminate this, maybe you get to the lower Bollinger Band and we'll see what goes on next. But the trend is down and stays that way until 94.17 is taken out as of tomorrow. Eurocurrency, the trend is up. Could it reach for the 117 area? It could. I have my doubts about it. It looks to me like it's going to tire here a little bit. A nice big day tomorrow. What would that do to the market? You're already at 68.59 on the reading. Anything over 70 is overbought. So get defensive, not aggressive, if you're long there. British pound, say goodbye. So long. Had a ball with you. I read the commitment of traders. I pointed this out to you day after day and said, these people are caught. Today was probably the blowout day. Bitcoin, whoa, all-time highs, right? Coming up for it. This is so pretty. Embedded reading, now breaks in the market, still bought until you lose that embedded part of it. Look at this differential in crude oil. And by the way, what a liar. Did I use that word? President Putin is. Oh my God, I hope the Russians don't come after me. I would say it to his face. 10 days ago, you said you won't weaponize energy to Europe and that if they need natural gas oil, they've got it. Today, you change your pattern and you say, what in the morning? No, without Nord Stream 2 being open, we're not increasing anything. Which Putin do you want? I'll tell you the man who he is. He's the one that grabs land, takes on NATO. Are you aware that Russia today announced that they are pulling all the representatives at the NATO base there, in other words, the headquarters in Brussels, not a base, but the headquarters, over, out, they're calling them all, they're done. So if you think there's friendliness there and Europe wants to rely on Russia for their gas, God bless them, do what you guys got to do. I'm glad we're America. In the Brent versus crude oil, sideways action, up and away you go. Resistance 86.80. It's just a continual grind higher. Folks, we're not in cold weather yet. Wait. When you get to cold weather, what's going to be there? Well, you're going to want that nat gas and everything else. You keep hitting the bands, you're backing off. This is classic what I teach in my enhanced Bollinger Band course. And yes, I had my clients take advantage of it. Thank God. Whether they put their contracts in, that's up to them. I don't manage anyone's money, but they were told what to do. And now the question is the market still a buy? And I'm going to give you an idea. I think so. I don't think the game's over. So I'm still looking for it to be working there. And I think nat gas, this is the area where if you're bearish, don't be bearish anymore. First challenge of the lower Bollinger Band, you hit that number, you're oversold, game over. So what do I want you to do? I want you to join me tomorrow. We're going to have our live webinar. It's 20 minutes of fun. I let loose in it. You can get me any way you want. If you're going to join it, though, and you want me to cover spiders, ETFs, or individual stocks, do the courtesy of writing me. Your invite has my email in it. Once you register, tell me which one so I can prep the charts. I'm not going to cover those in the depth I will futures because I've got all the futures charts at my hand. How do you do that? You can call us if you don't have the invite. Better yet, just watch this, move your cursor up, click at any point here. You're going to see the icon, fill out the form, and you're in. I'm Ira. See you tomorrow.